Hello everyone, my name is Jerry, and I am addicted to food, and I suffer a lot. I try to give up, but I fail every time, like pizza or fried chicken for example. Who can give up eating pizza or fried chicken, especially with pepperoni or greasy finger-licking good chicken legs with breadcrumbs? Isn't your mouth already watering right now just thinking about it? And I honestly don't mind this kind of addiction, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I've had no hobbies or interests, except for eating, that is. Food is like a friend to me. It never leaves me. It's like my partner, my soulmate. But having food as your soulmate has an insidious side effects. A dark side, if you will. It denies me to have a healthy lifestyle. It robs all the energy for me to play, and it causes me to sleep excessively. I would much rather stay at home with a bag of potato chips and a can of soda pop than go outside and exercise. I am famous for making quadruple sandwiches, 5 slices of bread with meat, and having everything in between. I was eating a lot of food. I would start my day eating about 4 bowls of cereal, and I would have 2 bags of lunch, including hot lunch at school. And I would eat anything from granola bars to apples to oranges to anything I could raid the cupboards for. My parents would often come into the kitchen and say, "Jerry, look at the size of that thing." And when I eat, it felt like I was on a deserted island for days, and I never ate. There are often times when I'm supposed to be asleep, and I would usually bring food into my room, and I would eat and eat and eat. I was just so hungry. I would bring food into bed with me, and I would bring in like crackers and cheese or even cookies and milk until I fall asleep. My dad would often hear the crunching noises of food chewing, and he would come into my room. And he would tell me, "This is ridiculous and I can't be eating in bed like this." He would often try to snatch food from my hands, but I refused and just kept eating. And I was basically eating a fridge a day, even when my stomach is painfully full, and I would just keep eating. My dad would often ask me what's wrong, and I would tell him that my stomach hurts. "Because you're so full. You're eating too much," he would say. "No, I'm starving." And even after eating all that food, I was still hungry. It felt like someone was punching me in the stomach, and when I ate, the pain just went away. At that point, my dad had had enough of my eating addiction and thought it was time I'd start losing weight. We start with some jogging during the day, running on the treadmill, and then he made me go on a diet. I had to eat small portions of fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and meat in order for me to be fit and healthy. Oh yeah, and I had to avoid eating junk food and sweets too. And after a few months, I had finally lost a lot of weight. And look at me now. I'm thin. thin. And yeah, I feel so much better than how I was before. And I've stopped eating like crazy. And I now learned to control myself with my eating habits.
I only ate poutine for years. I love poutine. I know, everybody loves poutine. But I loved it so much that it was the only thing I ate for 10 years. Isn't your mouth already watering by just imagining it? It all started at the beginning of first grade. On the first day of school, I walked into the cafeteria and I nearly threw up. The smell was horrible. All around me were different types of food, and their smells were all mixing together. Even if you could pick out just one smell, it was never a good one. The entire room smelled like a garbage can. There was no way that I was going to eat anything that came out from the cafeteria. And not if it smelled like that. For the first couple of days, I just didn't eat. I sat with my friends and tried to ignore the smells. But while they were laughing, my stomach was growling.
Feed me, master.
And I was starving, but I couldn't bring myself to eat anything that came from the cafeteria. After a few days, I asked my parents if I could start bringing my lunch with me. My mom said it was okay, but she didn't have time to pack my lunch for me. And I would have to pack it up myself every morning. And anything was better than the cafeteria. So, I agreed. And so the next morning, I got up extra early and made my lunch. I opened up the fridge to make a sandwich. But the lunch meat wasn't the first thing to catch my eye. Instead, on the bottom of the fridge, I saw a plate of fries, a bucket of gravy, and cheese balls that my dad had brought home from work. And as I said before, I love poutine. I looked at it and took it all with me. And the problem was, once I started, I couldn't stop. I started packing poutine every day. I started eating poutine for lunch every day. And the idea of eating anything else started to seem crazy. Why would I trade in my fries and gravy, gooey cheese, for a boring old sandwich? Or something out of the cafeteria? The more poutine I ate for lunch, the less real food I wanted to eat at dinner. My mom would work really hard to make a big meal for me and my family. But all I would be able to think about how it was not poutine. I stopped eating dinner with my family, until my mom started to realize what was happening. And started to let me eat poutine too. I was eating poutine for every meal. And after a while, it felt like I was living the dream. I was looking forward to lunch and dinner every day. And I laughed at all my friends whose parents had to make them eat fruits and vegetables for lunch. And I bragged that all I ever ate was poutine. But after a couple of years of eating poutine every single day, I didn't really feel as good about it anymore. I still loved eating poutine, but by the time I hit high school, I was starting to see effects from my unhealthy eating habits. I had started to gain weight, and it was really bad for my self-esteem. And soon, I started to have other problems as well. Everybody gets acne in high school, but I seemed to have it worst of all, and it wouldn't go away no matter what I washed my face with. Things even got so bad that I got sick. My stomach would hurt all the time, and I started to throw up after some of my meals. I didn't feel good about eating poutine anymore, and I didn't really feel good at all. My mom took me to the doctor, and she explained what had been happening. My doctor said that I needed to eat healthier or else things would get worse. And it wasn't easy, but I started to eat better. First, I tried eating poutine with vegetables on it. Then I eventually had to start eating the vegetables on their own. I didn't like it, but I told myself that eating vegetables was better than throwing up. It took a few weeks, but soon I was able to eat a full meal without any poutine. I wasn't throwing up anymore, and my acne was already starting to clear up. I felt better about myself than I had in years, and my body was changing to match that feeling. I still love poutine, and I eat it every once in a while, but I am not obsessed anymore, and I feel so much better because of it. My name is Kimberly, and I am 17 years old, and I'm addicted to toilet paper. And I know people will think I am weird for saying that, but it's true. And I'm guessing all of you are probably thinking to yourselves, why? Well, I love everything about it. I love the taste, I love the texture, I love the smell. It's just that moment when it hits your tongue. It's just the best. It's like you're in heaven. You see, it all started when me and my friends were invited to a birthday party that was going to be happening next week. And I was deciding if I should go or not, but I thought, I don't see why not. A week later, I went to the party, and I was having a great time. There was dancing, karaoke, video games, and of course, who can't forget all about the delicious food and desserts? Yum! After that, my stomach started hurting. I guess it was all that food I ate, so I ran to the bathroom as fast as I could. After I was done, I saw a roll of toilet paper. I was always curious to know what it tasted like. I took a piece and put it into my mouth. And, to my surprise, it actually tasted pretty good. It was like I got a one-way ticket to Flavorville. So I took 2 rolls home with me and placed it into my purse. After that, I could no longer stop thinking about toilet paper. I started wondering about what my parents, my friends, or people from my school, what would they think if they found out about my toilet paper addiction? They would think I'm some kind of weirdo or something. So I would sneak out of class, go to the bathroom, and take a roll of paper with me. It was so much better when I could get out of class and enjoy the taste of toilet paper to get my mind off of things. Soon, I was buying rolls and taking toilet paper rolls from my parents' storage closet, public washrooms, and school. My parents started asking me what's happening to all of our toilet paper and why it keeps disappearing so quickly. And I always kept giving them the same answer, I don't know. And of course, they would run off to the stores to go buy more rolls of toilet paper, even though I was hoarding most of the paper rolls. A few months later, my parents were finally putting the pieces together and realizing what was really happening to all of the toilet paper in our house. Later, my parents came to me and started demanding for an answer. At first, I tried denying it, but when I saw the look on their faces, it told me that they weren't in the mood. So I took a deep breath and told them the truth. And to my surprise, they were a bit shocked, but also confused. And they were silent for a few minutes. I guess they were just trying to process all this information. And my parents suggested that I need to go seek help in order for me to get over this addiction, and I took their advice. For the next few weeks, I went to a therapist several times a week. And they told me I had a condition known as xylophagia, which is someone who suffers from an eating disorder consuming substances like paper, pencils, wood, and other materials. And I'm hoping to get over this addiction and to get my life back to normal. And thank you for listening to my story. Did you like this story? Subscribe to Draw My Story, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video.